Good morning, my beautiful people. It's been a few days since I posted on here, uploaded any videos. It is colder than a Will Digger's toe out here. I'll tell you that. It is freezing. It's like 50 degrees. It's like perfect weather. I love it. We went to the thrift store yesterday and got a few. I love going thrifting. I don't know anybody else, but most of my clothes are from the thrift store. There's a few outfits here and there that, you know, I got from like Fashion Nova or like Amazon or something. And I think like I own one expensive, like real expensive outfit, and it's my Adidas sweat outfit. It's like $100. That's my idea of expensive, okay? But yeah, I love going thrifting, and I found so many cute, you know, sweaters and stuff. So anyway, so there was this article that was posted about me, and it's crazy. And I understand, you know, like people's gonna post articles and, you know, post my story, which is totally fine. Like I'm okay with, but don't make me look like I'm this terrible person. And I feel like this place did, this radio show. It's like the Ryan something show. I posted about it on my Facebook page and my backup account on TikTok. I read through the article. I didn't even know like this article even existed until somebody was like, hey, and I just happened to go through my comment section, and I very rarely do that, especially if I have like a lot of people who's commenting, just because like a lot, if I have like 200 or more comments, I know like half of them are negative, like most of the time they are. So I tend to stay away from the comment section. Well, something told me to just, you know, go through the comments, and I'm glad I did, because one of the comments read, hey, you were talked about on the Ryan whatever show. And I was like, what is that? So I Googled, my wife and I were actually out and about, and I Googled this show, and lo and behold, there's my article about me having 16,000 partners and my fiance being okay with it. First off, it's my wife. So, you know, they got that wrong. Secondly, like when I was reading through the article, like, I guess just how, like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, you know what I mean? And it definitely gave off like bad vibes. I don't know how else to explain it. I've had a lot of you know, articles written about me, like the Daily Mail, you know, the Sun, like, I mean, a lot of places, and I never once had, like, I read every single article that was, you know, posted, and they were all, you know, good articles. This particular article just rubbed me the wrong way, just how they were saying it, like, oh, can you imagine, like, your fiance sleeping with 16,000 dudes? Like, you know, she slept with that many dudes. I don't know. And maybe it's just me over exaggerating, but when I read the article, I had to read it a couple times to make sure, like, I wasn't exaggerating. I feel like I'm not over exaggerating. Like, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way, that's all. And yeah, I probably had over 16,000 partners. Like, I was just giving myself a little credit and said 16,000 rather than like 30 or 40. That probably close to 50,000 that I've actually had. And it's not, when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's not what you did in the past. It's the type of person that you are right here, right now. The person that I was in my past wasn't a very good person. I wasn't a very nice person. I wasn't a good person. I didn't even care about myself. I didn't even take care of myself. That's the honest to God truth, you know? And I was miserable. So like when people meet me today and they see me today, like I never used to look like this. I never took really good care of myself in the past. I wasn't cautious of what I ate. How I parent, how I am in my marriage, how just everything is completely different with me. But it's a good thing. It's a good difference, you know? I don't know. That article just rubbed me the wrong way. So anyways, I was scrolling through TikTok this morning and I came across a question. Somebody had asked me, and I responded to it, but I can go into more detail on here. So my first ever experience with a John not paying. So I was walking the streets one night, and this one car pulled over, and that's how you know that a car is pulling over for you, because you'll see the car drive by you once, then they'll turn around, you'll see them drive by again. When you see them drive by again, if they pull over to, in the alleyway or whatever, then you go follow them. That's how you know it's for you. So I went up to this car. It was probably, it was dark time. So it had to have been, late at night. And it was in the alleyway. Nobody was around. And we negotiated on the price. I can't really remember, the price, or remember like the details of what services he wanted, But I remember I walked up to his driver's side window. It was half down, and we were talking, and something told me not to go in that fucking car. I had this little voice in the back of my mind and back of my head saying, "Bitch, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Like, don't do it." And I fucking did. I did. So I remember right when I got into the passenger seat, like a normal, typical situation, right? After you negotiate on a price, you go around to the passenger side, you open up the door, you close the door, and then he hands you the money, and then you guys go on about your business. So what this guy did was, and this is my first ever experience with something like this, okay? So I didn't know what the fuck to do. When I got into the passenger side seat, as soon as I shut the door, he locked it and he sped off. So I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? You don't gotta go all fast and shit. What the fuck? I said, okay, so where's the money? And it was a stick shift. It was a stick shift car, and it was like an older car. It was like a beater. And I saw, like, right where the stick shift was, I saw the gun laying right there, and I was like, I kept looking at it. And I looked at him, and he saw me eyeballing it. He was like, "Bitch, I wish you would fucking touch it. I was going to snatch it up, and I was going to. But I didn't know if it had anything in it or not. And who's to say he did that on purpose? He laid it right there for me to do that. And he had a real gun next to him, like on his other hip, and then he would took it out and shot me. And he would have said, "Oh, it's self-defense. Because look, she has a gun in her hand." You know what I mean? Motherfuckers do that shit. And Johns love to play the victim. They love to play the fucking victim all the time. Especially here in Columbus. Little man motherfucking bitch ass syndrome. So anyway, I remember when he was like, "Bitch, I wish you would fucking touch it." So I was like, "Man, just give me the money. Let's just do what we, negotiated, what we planned on doing. Like, you don't have to, whatever the fuck you're planning on doing, like, you don't have to do this." And I started crying. Because I didn't know what the fuck was, going to happen. he went to, and this is crazy because he went to the same area. I'm not too sure if it was the same exact area, but it looked like the same area when I was first kidnapped, when I was in the halfway house. This guy, when I was working streets in the halfway house, when I got out of prison the first time back in the day, he picked me up, and it was, you know, long story short, that's another story time, but long story short, he took me to a, it was like, it looked country to me. It was probably like 20 minutes west, I don't know, but anyways, and it was nothing but gravel everywhere and storage, you know, places around, like that was it. No buildings, no houses, no nothing. And this guy took me to, you know, a similar area. So I'm like, what the fuck? He put his car in fucking parked, and then he ended up, you know, he fucking raped me. He had a gun right there next to me, and he was like, look, he's like, even if you flinch, if you know, if you do anything that would compromise me getting what I want. And I knew, you know, there was nothing I could do because A, nobody knew where I was. B, if he killed me, all he had to do was just dump me. Like, that's what they do. That's what they do anyway. And, you know, nobody would have known that I was gone. Nobody would have missed me. You know, it wasn't like I had, you know, I had any family or friends that, would have missed me. You know, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But, I remember after that incident, okay, after that fucking incident, he took me, like, after he was at, whoa, Morris freaking accidentally knocked over Nessa's bike. Anyway, so after he was done, he got back into, you know, the driver's side and driver's seat, and he drove off, and it wasn't where he picked me up from, but it was close enough for me. Like, even if he would have let me out where I was at, I would have walked back, you know. I've walked further before. But he let me out like a couple miles from where he, you know, picked me up from. And I remember just walking back, and I was bleeding. I had and I wasn't on my, you know, monthly or anything. Like, I guess, like, he tore me a little bit, and yeah, there was no place that I can go, you know, to clean up or anything. So I remember there was a it is like corner store, but you know, I just had to literally just stay around there, in the back by the dumpster, and wait for, you know, early in the morning, for, you know, UDF at that time you couldn't use the bathroom unless you were a customer, so I didn't have any money, and I didn't want, you know, to walk in there looking all suspicious or anything, and then, you know, they would call the police, because they're good at doing that. So yeah, I just waited around until, you know, Wendy's opened up, and I don't know if Wendy's opened up at 10 or 11, but I remember, you know, walking over there, and I cleaned myself up. I had had on jeans. I had a little bit of, you know, blood on my jeans, and I had to take my jeans off and wash them up. And I remember this older lady come in, and you know, I had my pants off, and I was, you know, not washing them, you know what I mean, I was cleaning the blood up. And she's like, oh my God, she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, okay. And then I remember, you know, after I was done, there was, you know, the dryer there, you know, to dry your hands. I was drying my pants. I was probably in there for like an hour, maybe even longer than an hour. I was trying to dry my damn pants because I didn't want people to think like I pissed myself or something. So, I remember when I walked out, and I was about to walk out, I walked out of the bathroom and I had to walk across, where the workers were and stuff to get to the other side so I can leave. And as soon as I, walked over to the other side, a young girl called out and she's like, hey, she's like, we got something for you. And I was like, what? She's like, somebody had paid for this. And it was like a sandwich and fries and a drink. And I'm pretty sure it was that lady, that older lady. But, yeah. After that incident, it did something to me. Even after when I was kidnapped the first time, I always kept a switchblade on me. And that switchblade that I even had, even when that happened to me, it was in my back pocket. But I knew, because of that gun that was sitting right there, I knew that if I did any sudden moves or anything and, got it out and, a bullet is faster than a fucking, snippity snap. So anyway, so there's my story time. And to answer that lady's question, that's, unfortunately, that's like the norm of working girls, working the streets, prostitutes, is Johns. They're not clients, because clients would never do that. Johns, they prey on girls, working girls, and they know they can get away with it. Why? Because they're prostitutes, and prostitution isn't legal. So I knew that if I went to report it or anything, I would have gotten in trouble. And I did once. I remember reporting this happened. This was like maybe after like a dozen times of this happening to me. All different people, obviously. I remember I went to the fucking police station and I reported what the fuck happened to me, because I was so fucking sick and tired of this shit. And I got fucking arrested for admitting to prostitution. Soliciting charge. Like, what the Columbus Police Department for you, I tell you that. And the motherfuckers are trying to get me to snitch and everything. That's another story time, but another day, another time. So yeah, not doing anything today. We're going to the pumpkin patch tomorrow. So the pumpkin patch has, where we're going, I think like the opening day is tomorrow, so hopefully it's not too wild and too crowded. But yeah, it has like little animals, and I'm excited with the kids and stuff. So yeah. All right, guys, so I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna take a shower after I'm done drinking my coffee and all that good jazz. And it's colder than a world digger's ass out here. Fuck a toe. Fucking colder than a world digger's fucking ass. So I love you guys.